Who are you talking to?
No one. It's just, I always thought I'd write a sketch that Rob Reiner and Mel Brooks would watch, and I'd call it Secure the Perimeter, because they said they watched movies with that line in it. And, well, I just never felt it was quite good enough. And then, now that Carl's gone, I was right. It's not good enough.
He and Mel Brooks, every single night, they have dinner, they watch a movie together. Any movie that has Secure the Perimeter, they're watching that movie. And
a character says secure the perimeter?
Somebody has to say either secure the perimeter or get some rest.
Oh, hi, my name is Carl Reiner.
Rob Reiner died this week on June 29th, 2020. He created such movies as the one he's advertising in this trailer for The Thrill of It All, with James Garner, Doris Day, and Arlene Francis.
You know what we're going to do? We're going to do something that's never been done before in a preview. We're going to show you the whole movie.
And just in case you didn't know what he's known for creating, he created The Dick Van Dyke Show, The Jerk, and many other Steve Martin movies. Oh God.
To tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
So help me.
So help you.
If it pleases the court, and even if it doesn't please the court, I'm God, Your Honor.
The Thrill of It All, That Old Feeling, and many more. He also acted in The Russians Are Coming, The Russians Are Coming.
Oh, I was trying to kill you, I'll admit that, but it wasn't anything personal.
And the Oceans series.
We're just supposed to walk out of there with $150 million in cash on us without getting stopped?
Yeah.
Oh.
Carl performed and wrote for Sid Caesar and Your Show of Shows and Caesar's Hour. He was also best friends with this man, Mel Brooks. And upon meeting him, started the very popular bit of the 2,000-year-old man.
Good Lord meant man to fly, he would have given him tickets, right?
Matter of fact, the very first time I saw Mel, I didn't know who he was. I came to the Show of Shows to be a writer-actor.
Yeah.
And there was a guy standing. He was working for Sid for $35 a joke or something.
Yeah.
He wasn't working for the show. And here this man with a Jewish accent saying, you know how hard it is to set sail these days? He was a Jewish pirate. He says, you know how difficult it is to set sail these days? You know what they're charging for sailcloth? $3.40 a yard. I can't afford to pillage and rape anymore. The first time I heard, the next time I came in to the office, I said to him, just from nowhere, I said, I understand, sir, that you knew Jesus. He says, thin lad, right? He wore sandals, walked around with 12 other guys. Nice boy. They came into the store, never bought anything. I gave him water.
Mel and him were besties. Mel coming to Carl's house every night to watch TV. Mel's 94th birthday was just days before his death. Carl was born in the Bronx on March 20th, 1922. He served in World War II and would eventually be transferred to the Special Services to entertain troops. He married his wife, Estelle, on Christmas Eve, 1943. They were married for 64 years until her death in 2008. Estelle was a very funny lady, delivering one of Hollywood's most iconic lines.
Oh, God. I'll have what she's having.
She's also the inspiration for this line.
Philosophical. You know, it's not the size of a nose that's important, it's what's in it that matters.
And she was a singer, and she died surrounded by family.
Died in 94. You know, I said, she should go out hearing something lovely, like her last album, you know. So I put on, and the first song is Hey, You're Adorable, and that was playing. And one of the hospice nurses says, oh, she has such a lovely, sweet voice. And Lucas, my son, went right up to his mother. He said, Ma, you hear what she said? She says, you have a lovely, sweet voice. And Estelle said, and passed away.
Carl may be most well known for being the writer of The Dick Van Dyke Show. He wanted to create a show where he could star called Head of the Family, but things took a turn.
It was okay. It was just okay. And it didn't work. So I went on, said, we're interested in your show. And I said, fellas, I don't want to fail with the same material twice. And Sheldon said to me, and this is a pretty good impression of him, you won't fail because we'll get a better actor to play you.
But he still managed to act in it, playing the egotistical star of the show that Rob Petrie, Sally Rogers, and Buddy Sorrell were writing for, The Alan Brady Show. He also found Mary Tyler Moore for the part of Laura.
I gave her a piece of script to read, and she read the first line. It had a ping in her voice.
Yeah.
And I did this. I made my hand like a claw, like the machine in the carnivals, you know, they get candy out of the things. I went across the room, I went to her head, and I grabbed the top of her head. And I said, come with me. And I walked her down the hall to Sheldon, and I said, I found her.
Making the girl who had mostly starred in commercials and giving her a central role. And make no mistake, the Dick Van Dyke Show was all about his life. He lived in New Rochelle.
Any of that like your real home life? Because
well, yes. I mean, you know, my father, he wrote most of the episodes, and I always knew when he was stuck creatively. He would come into the room, in my room in the house, and he would say, has anything interesting happened to you lately?
And with the show, people began to be aware of the people behind the camera, influencing comedians throughout the ages.
Watched the Dick Van Dyke Show, and I thought, oh my God, it's so much fun. They do skits for each other, they perform, there's a piano, Maury Amsterdam's there. What a blast. And then I went and I became a comedy writer on The Simpsons, and we would sit around on the rattiest couch ever invented in the world, the rattiest, and everyone would just sit there, John Swartzwelder would smoke, and people would spend hours thinking of one line for Bart, the room filling with smoke, and I thought, where's the piano? Where's the dancing? So I got up and did that stuff, and they threw me out.
And it inspired me to write. I do write for a living. And I have dressed up as Sally Rogers for Halloween. Actor Rose Marie played her in the Dick Van Dyke Show. And I don't think I've told people this. I wear bows a lot, and I've made it kind of my signature as a reminder and a tribute to her. Carl's made several guest appearances in shows from Parks and Rec, 2.5 Men, Hot in Cleveland, The Bernie Mac Show, Ally McBeal, and House.
I just walked.
What?
It's all because comedians love him. Conan and Carl, on other late night shows. His children are also famous. Rob Reiner is a director and actor. Lucas Reiner is an artist. And Annie Reiner is an author and psychologist. Carl has written several books and has voiced quite a few audiobooks if you want to check that out. This is my most prized possession. I wrote Carl telling him about how I admired him and that I worked in TV news and I hope to write comedy someday. And I think I told him about how the Dick Van Dyke Show was there for me at a really dark time in my life. And he just told me to keep writing. And so I shall. Now get some rest.